bringing the playoffs to the second city, and we are spreading the excitement of the Jamaica Premier League into Montego Bay, a historic moment. Catherine Hall, Thursday, May 15th, 6 p.m. first game, 8:30 p.m. second game.
Why Jamaica Football Federation needs a president like Christopher Williams. Join Premier 7 right now for the big chat. There is no success without a successor. The most important thing you can do is leave a legacy. A quote by Peter Drucker, as it speaks directly to the current situation of the Jamaica Football Federation, which proves to us that Jamaica football is not going anywhere. And is that just an opinion? When most persons would say it is factual. Of course, greetings and welcome to another episode on Premier 7, everyone. I am your host, Ryan Nelson, coming to you today with a very important video as it relates to the topic why Jamaica Football Federation needs a president like Christopher Williams. Am I saying that Christopher Williams should be president of the Jamaica Football Federation? Not necessarily, but someone of his style of leadership or caliber or profile is necessary that could bring Jamaica football somewhere else. Because to me, the current president in Michael Ricketts, I think he's outdated. And if you disagree, I will give you reasons why you should agree with what I am saying here today. The thing is, Premier 7 always considers the fans, the followers of the channel, and you're seeing on screen that I have done a poll a few minutes ago with the question, do you believe Christopher Williams' level of leadership would have benefited Jamaica's football more than JFF's current president, Michael Ricketts? So far, 15 voters, majority saying absolutely, 60%, with the remaining 40% split between certain and doubtful. Two likes. So it is obvious that for all those persons who responded, have a slight idea of who Christopher Williams is. And for me personally, Jamaica football needs a revelation. We understand that the election takes place every 4 years. Unless something unthinkable happens, then the president would be changed. But should we just sit here and wait and wait and wait to see the same thing happen in the Jamaica Football Federation? Absolutely not. Because the thing is, Jamaican football has talent, history, and passion, but leadership and governance continue to hold the game back. How often will we stick around and suffer as fans? We need a change, and that is the reason why I am here with this important video. So, Jamaica football is something that we would say is similar to Brazil. And when I say Brazil, we talk about how we play style, flair, pace, strength. And is it a case that we're seeing such at the highest level of the national team? Certainly not. This is why Jamaica Football Federation needs someone like Christopher Williams, a football minded leader with modern thinking, accountability, and proven experience in improving the game. I mean, some persons would say, oh my God, Christopher Williams is a huge fan of the Jamaica local league. But isn't it a case that he helped to boost and improve the league? I mean, I don't have any issue seeing Jamaica having local players once the players are good enough for the highest level to represent with a mixture of diasporic players. then that should be the ideal movement for the Jamaica men's national team. And for me personally, this current president in Michael Ricketts, I don't see what he's doing. And if he's doing something, it is outdated. It's time for us to move on. So, who is Christopher Williams? Do you know who Christopher Williams is? Well, as I've said earlier on, some of you guys could have an idea, but Premier 7 have something to share. But before I dive into such people, if you're new, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel you're seeing on screen. 2,677 subscribers. I would love to hit the 3,000 subscription mark before December 2025 comes to an end. And of course, a big shout out to all those persons who continuously support the channel. Continue doing so by watching the video, dropping your comment, sharing the content so other persons can become engaged with what is taking place. Back on board to who is Christopher Williams. So Christopher Williams is a well-known Jamaican. He's around the football circles in the past, particularly for his role in professional football development. He was one of the key figures in Proven Limited and the Professional Football Jamaica Limited structure. He was one of the co-founder of Proven Limited. So he's a businessman, and I spoke about the aspect of football. So he have a mixture of knowledge for both sides. And with that being said, he's a man of structure, which aimed to bring organization, professionalism, and commercial sense to local football. Unlike many administrators who come into football from outside the game, Williams was deeply involved in building football structure, dealing with clubs, players, logistics, and sustainability. His work showed what football looks like when it's treated as a serious product, not just a passion project. Because the thing is, you can have passion, but you may not know how to get the work done. You may have passion, but what you implement doesn't make any sense. And this man in a Christopher Williams is a brain of operation. I mean, the background matters because governance should understand the game in its governing. So we always say that heavy is the head that wears a crown, and I think the crown that is on the head of President Michael Ricketts is too heavy. Christopher Williams will replace him? I did not say that, but somebody who has a track record of the modern development of Jamaica football, talk about the JPL before, he is that person who aid in such upliftment of the Jamaica football space. Now, for me personally, I'm not going to take a disrespectful approach to the Jamaica Football Federation. It's just that I'm showing my opinion here that we need more than what we currently have because our players that we recruit, they are good for some times, but we need better than what we currently have. And if we want to go to the World Cup in coming years, because I'm having doubts about the upcoming games in March, we have to step away from the old school type of football. Some persons will say who we have as presidents are under the president or work with the presidents are dinosaurs. We know that dinosaurs are extinct and we would need a replacement for such, in quotation, persons in the Jamaica football space. Now, you would have a concern as to why did he step away from the PFJL? Was it because of corruption? Let me tell you why. One of the biggest questions is this. But the thing is, it wasn't corruption that led him to making such decision to move away from the PFJL. Just as though he stepped away from the presidential role, I think had proven to a more of a director role at the company. So it's not a case that he'll leave for it to crumble, but he'll leave to take on a different role. So from all indications, it was not this was not someone walking away because things got hard. It was a deliberate decision, stepping aside after helping to build something, allowing others to take it forward and pursuing new challenges. So he left it in a better state, still there to assist and giving other persons the opportunity to grow and to move the business or let's say the football forward. And that is what we want to see in the Jamaica football space. That tells you something about leadership style. It suggests someone who understands timing, transition, and the importance of system over personality. We don't even have personality in the Jamaica football space except from the popular known Mr. Rudolph Speed. You may disagree. However, not someone clinging to power. Many persons talk about corruption in Jamaica Football Federation space. He is different, but someone focused on impact and legacy. Leave your legacy behind. That distinction is critical when discussing leadership at the JFF. So he did not quit proven, he did not quit the PF jail just like that. He just stepped aside to pursue something else, but still contributing to such development. All right, I hope you guys got that clarity. Now, JFF today and comparison of approach. We all know that the JFF right now is like a ship sinking, but because I want for Jamaica football to get better, I did my research and picked somebody who could be an example that we could use someone similar to him to make a difference. So under the current JFF leadership, headed by President Michael Ricketts, many fans feel Jamaican football administration still operates in an old school way. Decision making feels slow, communication is limited, and there's little public accountability. This isn't about personal attacks, it's about approach. So, a leader similar to a Christopher Williams represents a different model: football first thinking instead of politics first thinking, structured planning instead of reactionary decisions, transparency instead of silence, accountability instead of comfort. Those are some listed importance that you have to hear as fans. Someone like Williams or someone with Williams' background understands that football today is business, developing a brand, or let's say development, branding, and governance, not just administration. So that's the gap Jamaica football is currently struggling with. Maybe we're thinking about the politics too much and the administration, but we're not focusing on the key factors surrounding the background that we should have similar to other nations. Their models, are we studying their models to improve ourselves? How about our branding? Our branding is not all that. Yes, we have the Jamaica Football Federation logo, but you don't really hear anybody talking about Jamaica Football Federation because it is like a sinking ship and we need for it to be better than its current state. All right, so what a Christopher Williams type of leader could bring. A leader with that mindset could realistically bring strong professionalism or strong professional league structure, clear development pathway from youth to senior level, financial accountability and better sponsorship confidence, modern governance aligned with FIFA standards. Yes, I would understand that President Michael Ricketts have an understanding of such, but he's slow, according to some persons. However, respect from clubs, players, and international partners. But it wouldn't be easy. However, such leadership would likely face resistance from people comfortable with the current system, from those benefiting quietly, and from long standing alliances that resist change. Progress always threatens comfort. So the thing is, a lot of persons will not want someone similar to a forward thinker like a Christopher Williams, who have led Jamaica to new heights in football and in business. He's also taken another business apart from proven. And yeah, you can research it on your own. This is just about the football. My focus is that the people who may turn their head against someone who is similar, they are comfortable with what we will always say: corruption in the Jamaica football space. And if that continues, we will always be going downhill. But the JFF election reality, though, it is also important to understand that JFF leadership is decided through elections. So member associations and stakeholders votes, meaning real changes require collective will. And we know that it is every 4 years. I think I've said that earlier out in the video. So this conversation isn't just about one individual, it's about whether Jamaican football stakeholders are ready to support a different type of leadership culture. Without that support, even the best minded leader would struggle. So we cannot only focus on the players here, we have to focus on the person who have the crown, and it is to wave before his head. We need somebody better than President Ricketts. And we need a better structure. Some of those persons who are currently there needs to go. We need a reform. We need Jamaica football to elevate because even though I may want to see us qualify for the World Cup, it may not happen because of our term here in Jamaica, the corruption. So, people, Jamaica does not need a savior. Jamaica needs systems, accountability, and modern football leadership. Christopher Williams represents the type of leader Jamaica football could benefit from. Not saying Jamaica should choose him, but someone is similar, right? Someone who understands football, respects structure, and prioritizes progress over power. The power will come eventually. However, even if it's not him, the future of Jamaican football depends on choosing leaders who thinks like him. And that is the essence of the video. Somebody who thinks like him, not saying him. All right. So people, what are your thoughts surrounding why Jamaica Football Federation needs a president like Christopher Williams? I have done my part. It is time for you to share what you think. Of course, remember people, the target 3,000 subscribers before December 2025 ends. Of course, this video was one that I believe Jamaica football space need or like a repeat of it because many persons would have known a little or a lot about Christopher Williams, and Premier 7 wants to reiterate the importance of having a leader like him in the Jamaica football space in the JFF's presidential role. So people, you all take care. Goodbye until we meet again.